What if I told you Luna is an easy character who's very versatile, can do some heavy duty DPS, unlimited ammo, 100% critical hit rate, has mobility and AOE that can compete with some of the best, and will buff their teammates to make them do 5 million plus damage? That is all true, and I'm going to break it down today because I do feel people are a little intimidated by her because of the so-called skill gap, and I don't believe that that's true. I'm going to hopefully help you guys along as she just released, and I want to kind of just guide everybody. As all of my videos, I try to keep it as simple and straightforward without giving you guys complicated information to try to sound smart and fancy on videos. So let's dive into it. We're gonna be jumping in right now to the one and the only, the queen herself. We're gonna keep the sound on so you guys can hear this a little bit. But the main thing I want to talk about is that she is easy to use. Okay, you're probably not going to use your weapons much, but there is a couple of things you can do as far as which weapon to have on that is gonna be helpful. But let's get into her skills. We're not gonna go through her skill tree. We're not doing like a full tutorial on everything, but stage presence is the number one tool that you want to equip, which is gonna allow you to have her special weapon out. And her special weapon is how you use all the other skills, and it's how you get infinite ammo. It's how you can not even aim at somebody and still shoot them, and then you're going to use it to buff up all the other things that's in the game. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's go and showcase just the quick skills to start off with. So as you can see right here, here's an auto lock system. If you just watch the character on the right side, he is already locked in. So this is important because no matter where I'm aiming, it's gonna lock him in as long as he's in within my gauge here, this hover. So whether I'm right here or here, so that means I can pretty much jump around and still have aim without really aiming, without having to be perfect aim. So I can literally shoot him this whole time. So it's pretty straightforward. Again, I don't have to be on him. See all those hits happening because I understand that logic. Okay, so pay attention to that. That's number one. I'm gonna turn off our music just to kind of give you guys a rundown. That is key. And the reason this is important is because she's gonna be mobile. You're gonna run around with her. You're gonna be active and not feeling stiff and stuck. Okay, so that's important just to start off with. Please don't feel like, oh, I have to line it up. I also felt like I had to line it up, aiming and doing the rhythm as well, which kind of threw me off when I first started, I'll be honest. Okay, so you don't want to do that, and play it smart. Also, I had this very cool setting that they put into the game, which I absolutely love that they did, for shooting rapid fire. Turn that off because you're doing single fire with this weapon. You want to time it perfectly. If not, it's going to ruin it. But all right, so now that we have that out of the way, we understand that that's how you activate it, and that's going to allow you to shoot. Okay, so all of a sudden I got 30 bullets in here. I don't have to shoot it at all. This is infinite. Okay, so all of a sudden I'm just maneuvering to get in position, whatever I want to do, right? So jumping around, trying to stay alive, I'm healing up, and then all of a sudden I'm ready, I can start. But there's a key thing in here. She has the same thing, just like our favorite bunny. She has a gauge, which is not the same as bunny. It's called inspiration gauge. And basically the way you ramp that up is by hitting your fourth ability. You're going to see me do this. in a second. But what I wanted to say was always be on rhythm. Never miss. You don't have to aim, but you have to time your shots with the icons that you're watching. See? So I'm already hitting him, right? And this is important because when you're changing your skills, you want to time it as well. And then all of a sudden, now look at that. Okay? And so that's how you do it. And it's important to stay on point with that because you're going to be able to buff yourself with all of these other skills. And so, for example, I am going to equip my lovely, and I have a special skill mod for that, and it's doing more damage, okay? And if I went with this, it's a whole nother level. So being able to pop whatever ability you want to buff is very important. So on time, okay, is the key. So we're gonna come over here, we're gonna reactivate, and I'm going to pop my number 3, as you can see, doing damage automatically to him. And I go with this. Extra critical hits. So I can buff my damage in different ways. There's a lot you can do. Okay. So we're just gonna start off with that. And I just wanted to showcase just her run. All about timing. It's not about aiming, and you can do so much with her. We're gonna get into all of that, but before I do want to get into the actual mods just to take off. This is a special Transcendent mod which makes her buff for damage, which you just saw. We're gonna play without it for a moment, and I have multiple builds in here that I'm gonna showcase about the difference with her. First of all, critical hits for her skills when you're trying to do DPS. Then there's things like non-attribute that you want to put on, but I would say singular is the number one thing for her weapons. That's going to give you that DPS and buffs and so on. Then you have the tech as well, which is for her weapon, but I have a couple of different little strategies we're going to talk about when it comes to that. But I want to start off with this first setup, where it's her original playstyle. And so the moment I hit my second skill on time, I'm buffing all the way right here. Okay, and this, you see the range? That's kind of like a Valby. I'm sorry, a bunny. Okay, so that's gonna cause a buff, and that is incredibly important because you can play as a support if you really wanted to, or you can be a DPS. And the red is for damage, the blue is for mana, aka MP, as you guys know. And you're basically buffing yourself in a lot of ways. Okay, and we can go with this bad boy. Okay, so depending on what you need, you want to do, but I could also just keep switching so that I can get more ammo. So basically, I'll have infinite ammo anytime I'm playing because of this setup. And so you're able to swap over and over and over and over as long as you're on rhythm. Okay, so boom. And again, I don't have to shoot. If I want to run away, it's okay. I'll only shoot when I have them within my vicinity. And remember, they don't have to be in there. And so that is just an example of what you should be doing. And I need more mana. I'll use this and try to get my act together here. It's very important. But the note, as you can see, I keep doing it, showcasing it, is they go on cooldown when I'm not timing it properly. If I time it right, just like that, it goes good. And I could actually swap anytime in and out of these abilities whenever I feel like it. So you have the possibility to do things as best as you feel. By the way, this is a live demonstration. We're gonna cut that off for a second completely. So yeah, so the reason that's important and the quick guide there is rhythm of timing everything. You don't have to aim well, so don't believe the hype that you got to be this magical skill player. It's actually probably the best legend if you're bad at aiming. You can just have more rhythm and timing. But I want to talk about different ways to play. I just talked about it in the intro. So you have the critical hit skills, and then you're going to put on noise surge, which allows you to buff up big as you go. So for example, come over here, and I can just do some damage, and I don't have to shoot at all during that time. I'm just gonna do DPS. I could make it last longer, of course, guys, but it's just an example of what you could do. So these are the type of things, and there's a lot of methods depending on your play style and what you feel is best. And to talk about the standard with her skills, she's going to be buffing her teammates. So maybe they need MP, maybe they need some critical hits. All of that is possible with her, with the natural version of her. So the default version you can basically buff up your teammates with. The version that I am going to be making, which again I just got her, I haven't used any catalyst or even energy activators, is the noise surge to create a DPS version where I have critical hit as a focus. I want singularity in there because the modifier will help buff me and the damage I do also with non-attribute as well. Those two are critical. Okay, that is super important. She doesn't need any cooldown, all of that stuff, because guess what? You're not gonna be on cooldown ever. Okay, this is pretty awesome because most characters need the cooldown to continue to put their abilities out. She does not. So we'll take all that out. And then we got more room to play, and then we want to go forward and start putting in things that are necessary. I don't have any health on any of this because I was showcasing it on my stream a little bit to a friend. But the point is focus, focus, focus. I would have, again, singularity. I would have non-attribute. I can start putting in other things. You can have some range, as I told you guys, like being able to pop your ability for your teammates, and you want to buff them up a little bit. It's very important. See, I'm just fooling around switching as a way to kind of just mess around. But you're going to be able to buff your teammates. You're going to be able to buff yourself depending on what style you want to play. And to talk about her mods, there's also an extra mod that she has. I actually don't have it, but a friend of mine was using it and he absolutely loved it. And I definitely feel like, you know, she is gonna get a buff. I can guarantee you guys right now, she will get a buff from the developers because the community feels like she's complicated. When I don't think she's complicated, I think learning her isn't as simple as, hey, just shoot something. So it says granting a buff to allies increases movement speed and skill range. Okay, so this is gonna be huge as well. That could be very nice to use. Personally, I'm using noise because this is more for the DPS. This is the one that I wanted. But in the end of the day, you're capable to do some crazy things with this character if you take the time and master her. And I'm encouraging everybody that's watching this, like, okay, he's kind of emphasizing it. I'm gonna have a build video when it comes to, you know, maxing her out. I think I got like 7 crystallizations, but I just wanted to kind of point out these simple things: auto aim, infinite ammo, critical hit at 100% for you and your teammates. You're going to be able to buff your teammates to the point that they're doing millions of damage. This is all factuals with this character. Of course, you got to take it to the right levels and put on the right items and play it correct, but it's definitely doable. Okay, with that out of the way, I just wanted to kind of give y'all a quick preview of Luna. She's easy to get. We're not going to do a guide on that. You guys have the access info. I've shared that. There's no need for me to run through the menu that you have. You should be able to go on the menu and find where to get her. And then from there, her pieces are in Gluttony. He's a little bit difficult. I believe in you guys. Group up with some people, hit some Discord, and find teammates. And then you'll be able to get that as a drop. I got it on my first time killing Gluttony, so you're probably can get that love too. But other than that, that's just a quick preview of what she could be. The potential is there, and we're gonna have a full guide, like maxed out version, as I always do with the characters that I'm interested in. And since she's so different, I'm definitely gonna be showcasing her. So feel free to come through and vibe with me on my stream, as well as these videos, making the best we can for you guys. Hope y'all enjoy. By the way, I'm going to be opening up the Discord to really get us all together, so make sure you lock in for that. Comments, as well as get a chance to win one of the prizes that I'm going to be giving away soon. See you there. Peace.